Mbak and Mbak Karina. My name is Annisa Rahmania Jernih from IUPPPM batch 2019. This video will serve as my midterm assignment for Policy Implementation class, where I will talk about the top-down policy analysis of maternity leave rights in public institutions in Indonesia. So let's begin our policy talk. Before we dive deep into the policy, first we have to understand that maternity and pregnancy is an especially vulnerable time for working women and their families. Expecting and nursing mother requires special protection to prevent harm to their and their infant's health, and also they need adequate time to give birth, to recover, and to nurse their children. At the same time, working women also requires protection to ensure that they will not lose their job just because maternity or pregnancy leave. Such protection not only ensures a woman equal access to employment, but it also ensures the continuation of often vital source of income, which is necessary to the well-being of her entire family. That is why maternity leave policy is important. In Indonesia itself, conceiving and giving birth is part of the basic human right, which have the foundation of Human Rights Law number 39 of 1999, Article 10, concerning the right to family and continuing offspring. So, what is a maternity leave policy or kebijakan cuti hamil? Maternity leave is then further regulated in Article 82 of Law number 13 of 2003 concerning manpower in Indonesia. According to the Article 82, verse 1, female workers or laborers are entitled to rest up to 1.5 months before the time to give birth, and up to 1.5 months after the time of giving birth according to the calculations of doctors. Article 84 states that every worker or laborer who exercise his or her rights to rest time are entitled to be paid in full wages. It means that companies have to pay workers that having their rest time to be paid in their usual monthly wages, while all attendance allowances such as food or transport may not be paid.
Article 153 states that employers are prohibited from terminating employment on the grounds that the female worker is pregnant, giving birth, abortion, or breastfeeding her baby. Termination of employment for this reason is null and void, and the entrepreneur is obliged to re-employ the worker or laborer concerned. However, layoffs caused by a female employee who is pregnant or giving birth, have resigned, are permitted and legal according to the manpower law. Employers who neglect the right to maternity leave mentioned in Article 82, for example providing a work break of less than 3 months, according to Article 185, are categorized as a criminal offense. The sanctions are imprisonment for a minimum of 1 year and a maximum of 4 years, and or a fine of at least 100 million rupiah and maximum of 400 million rupiah.
So why is a maternity leave policy a top-down policy? There is several indicators why. First, maternity leave policy has a consistent and clear goals and tools from the very top of the hierarchy to the bottom implementers. Secondly, maternity leave policy also have a chain of implementation from the very top of hierarchy to the very bottom implementers. Here, it can be seen that the policy itself is stated in the law of Indonesian Republic, and then the implementation is carried out from ministries to governments to local governments until the lower level of implementers. So it seems that there is a chain of hierarchies going down from the top to the bottom of the policy. Third, because the policy design of maternity leave is also quite simple, policy designers have a good understanding of the capacity or the resources that implementing organizations might have, including their state of human resources, monetary or fundings, legal authority and autonomy, and many more. The last indicators of top-down policy in this case is that maternity leave policy are imposed to be obligatory. It means that if there is a stakeholder group or institutions that refuse to implement the minimum 3 months requirements of maternity leave, they could be fined or imposed as sanctions according to the law. While there are also several evaluation and weakness to the implementation approach of maternity leave policy in Indonesia, such as, first, there are tendency of bureaucrats to do a self-serving behavior. Moreover, for those who doesn't have a stake in the policy, could do a counterproductive behavior such as opportunism. Second, there is also a lack of good infrastructures and law enforcement mechanisms in Indonesia that could lead to minimal accountability measures and also many violations of women workers' rights in Indonesia, such as unpaid leave or maybe their required time not being met properly. Lastly, there also could be a lack of commitment from implementers that doesn't share the same value to those who make the policy.
Conclusion and recommendation. Women are an important part of our economy, as BPS stated that there are up to 55 million female workers in Indonesia, and there are still many cases of women workers not being held up properly on their rights for maternity leave. Referring to Article 4 of Convention 183 International Labour Organization's ILO, maternity leave in Indonesia is still slightly below the stipulated amount, which is at least 14 weeks. Based on research, there are about 20% of female workers who decide to quit their jobs because of the lack of support for working mothers. Therefore, Indonesia government must start to enforce women's rights properly and give better benefits to make the workforce a more inclusive place to be in. This will ensure the increase of Human Development Index in Indonesia and aggregate economic growth due to women's participations in the workforce.
Safeguarding the health of expectant and nursing mother and protecting them from job discrimination is one of the preconditions to achieve genuine equality of opportunity and treatment for both men and women at work. It also enables workers to raise their families in the conditions of security. That is why we must start to strive towards improving the basic rights and more equality in the workforce of Indonesians. I think that will be all from me. Thank you for your attention.